This is weird. There are 0 codes. Interesting. Hey everyone, welcome back to Build Break and Beyond. It has been a while since I posted and I wanted to give you a quick update as to why that's been. And well, basically, this is my new garage. Over here we have the first project that we're gonna tackle, the S60R. Over here in front of it, I built out this whole workbench. I snagged the old TV, got some tools here, creeper, square, level, all that jazz. Of course, I got my toolbox over here. So this garage is obviously way better than the garage that I was working in before. We're gonna jump right into the S60R and we're gonna finally get it running. I took my cylinder head to a machine shop and I had it professionally hot tanked, and this is what it looks like now. And if you're wondering, it is completely standard to use scrap pieces of 2x4 that you found sitting out in your backyard to hold up your cylinder head while you're working on it. All right, so now that the cylinder head is really clean, we can go ahead with the next step in this process, and that's called valve lapping. And we're basically gonna take this really fancy suction cup here. On the back side, we're gonna use some valve grinding compound on that mating surface there, and we're gonna put the valve back in. Then we're gonna kind of rotate it like that, and that will make the valve and the cylinder head extremely close tolerance. All right, that is 5 of the exhaust valves done, which brings us to the problem child here, the burnt valve. So obviously for a chunk of valve to break off while the engine is running, something would have had to go wrong. So these green ones are made by Bosch and they flow 431.1 cc's of fuel per minute. The brown ones are also from Bosch, but they only flow 329.8 cc's per minute, which is a difference of around 23% of flow. Fuel actually helps a lot with the cooling process within the cylinder. So what I'm guessing happened is that these cylinders got a lot hotter than they should have been and the valve just cracked. So this is more than likely the cause of the issue, which is okay because it's super easy to replace with these new used units I got. All right, so now that the cylinder head is looking pretty good and is pretty much ready to go back on the car, we can turn our attention to the car itself. And the reason that we're gonna be in here for a second is because the tops of these pistons are all caked with carbon and disgusting, except for this one, which I already practiced cleaning, so that's pretty good. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take each cylinder to top dead center, kind of like cylinder 1 is over here. We're gonna get our tools of the trade. All right, and the first thing that we're gonna do is grab our WD-40, spray it on, and let it sit for a minute. And while that is soaking in there, we will flip this blade around to give it a fresh edge. So we can start slowly flaking away those carbon buildup pieces there. grab our Scotch-Brite pad and start rubbing. So we can wipe that away. This is only like 3 minutes of work and it already looks worlds better. Everyone should do this. Just pop the head off your engine and start cleaning. It'll look so much better. And there we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're all very, very clean.
Several months later.
So the next step is going to be putting the valve cover on, which will require the use of this high density foam roller, which I got at Home Depot, and some anaerobic gasket maker. It is the next day. The gasket sealer is all good. Now is the hard part, which is figuring out the timing on this. And this isn't as simple as other cars because it has variable valve timing. So you have to turn everything this way and that way. There's a whole complicated series. And honestly, I've kind of not been looking forward to doing it, but it's the only thing standing between us and getting this car running. So we're gonna give it a shot. Finally got it working. I rotated the crankshaft over about 5 times. All the timing marks still line up. So the timing, the gears, they're all good to go now. We just have to put everything back together and then fire it up. All right, so after the longest time possible, I just checked everything, rechecked it, and checked it again. Everything looks fine, enough at least to see if it'll run. So now we can start it, and I'm super psyched because I've been working on this for far too long, and I just want to hear it run. All right, so we got 3 codes here, P1167, P2135, and interesting, P1167 again. So that's the same code for number 1 and 3, but let me Google these really quick, see what they are. All right, so yeah, after Googling these codes, it's looking like one of them is definitely related to the throttle body, which I suspected. The other one is the rear O2 sensor in the exhaust. So I didn't touch that at all. I don't think I dealt with the wiring, but because there's so much wiring in the harness that was hacked up that I had to fix, I'm guessing one of those connections just came loose or I put something in backwards. So let's just go check and see if we can get both of these solved. All right, so that was probably the easiest fix I've ever had on a car. wiring harness that I muddled together to get working. One of the connectors had just come loose, so I put some electrical tape around it and a couple others, and it should be good to go now. I'm gonna clear the codes real quick. So there's something smoking. Generally, smoking on an engine is not good. From somewhere down there. Hopefully that's just some of this extra sealer that is melting off. That's really the only thing I can think it would be. All of my wiring seems to be holding up somehow. Interesting. All right, let's try that one more time. All right, there's definitely less smoke, so that's good. That sounds a lot better than it did when it had the burnt valve.
Flashback. End of flashback.
All right, so it seems to be running well enough. Check all of the timing marks to make sure that they're still lined up. If it's running like this and it hasn't exploded yet, they're probably fine, but I just want to double check and then take her out. All right, so that was obviously super disappointing. I backed the car out of the driveway. It started idling really rough. There are no codes or anything. There's no leaks. The oil level, the coolant, everything is fine. Really disappointing because I haven't had time to work on this car for so long. I planned out the next 2 weekends to work on it. And this car is actually about to get the biggest project that we've done on this channel yet. And it needs to have the engine running. But the next time you see this car, it is going to be going under the knife for a super awesome project that I've been looking forward to for probably 8 or 9 months now. And it is just going to be so awesome. I really want to tell you guys about it, but I have to leave you dangling until the next episode. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share. Let me know what you think about this car and what you would do with it if you had it in this rough condition. Thanks. I'll see you on the next one.